Where I live, my daughter has this spirited beagle, and he has a pennant for just being so excited for his next adventure. And it could just be the front door opening with a new guest, or he's being let outside so they can go work in the garden. He will jump and just be sniffing up a storm. Now, of course, we have my husband's cat, his feline companion. Well, Calvin is an imposing cat, and he doesn't tolerate the presence of a sniffing dog to smell him real close. He's remarkably quiet, even when Spot attempts to serenade him with barks of "let's get excited." But Calvin's ability to communicate authority through his silently posed paws leaves a lasting impression on poor Spot's nose. At the slightest hint of disobedience, his claws come out, and they serve as a gentle reminder, but effective reminder, of who holds sway in the animal kingdom around here. I bring this up because it reminds me of how important it is to have relationships. Now, those who have been sexually abused and it happened in their family or with close family friend, where there was a lot of relationships that were all tied together, weddings were together, birthdays were together, family reunions were together, it really causes problems in the family structure. So when the abused draws a line and makes a boundary and says, no, this is not okay, forget about the whole forgiveness part. I'm not going to go there in this conversation. The part I'm talking about right now is living in peace and harmony with those beyond the abuser. You see, they still want you to show up for the weddings, and they still want you to show up for the birthday parties and the family reunions and the funerals. But with the abuser who still keeps attending those same activities, it leaves it to be a very unpeaceful place, a place where there are red flags going off. And though the abused really wants to show up to these events, because the abuser's showing up and the rest of the family or friends, whoever it is okay with them being there, okay with them saying the things that they're going to say, it is not going to be a safe place for the abused, and they have to draw the line. I'm all for fostering harmony and peace, but I'm also with wisdom and to not put yourself in the place of being abused, possibly verbally, again. What do I mean by this? I remember I went back to my family home where my mom just wanted to talk to me briefly and give me some things that she had saved for me to pick up. I was told this other family member was going to be kept busy in another room, and I could just show up in the patio, get what I needed, talk to my mom briefly, and be out of there. Well, that didn't happen because another family friend showed up who was oblivious to all that was going on. And one thing led to another, and I ended up starting to head to my car after saying goodbye because I heard the abuser's voice in the home. And I decided, you know what, I'm not comfortable being here. So I started to leave, and the abuser caught me when I was opening up the front door. I was by myself, and he was so cruel to me. And I realized at that time, I opened myself up. I knew the abuser was going to be there, but I was told he was going to be in another room. There was no guarantee that somebody could keep him in another room. I opened myself up to the chance of the abuser being unkind to me. It had been over 5 years since I had seen him last, and I guess I had hope in my heart he had changed. Unfortunately, he hadn't. And it was like a shock to me to have these claws just all of a sudden swipe at me in what was once a wonderful moment, seeing my mom again. A wonderful moment being in my hometown. The wounds upon me by his words were deep. I knew at that moment I needed to definitely relook at my boundaries, pray for more wisdom. on how to handle this family situation and not let others use their guilt or their desire for me to be at different places with them as long as the abuser was going to be present. Tough stuff. But I would think Spot would learn the same lesson. Once swiped by Kelvin on the nose, not to get that close again. May God give us all wisdom on how to move forward peacefully in our own relationships. Remember, because he lives, it does change everything.